I think the word I would pick for this year is fluid. And in the news industry, I think that word is almost tailor-made because everything would change last minute. But nowhere did that word ring truer, at least for me, for this year, than in the coverage of the China-US trade talks. I've been following the Chinese and American delegations across Europe for almost half a year for much of the negotiation in London, Stockholm, Madrid, because that's were the words that all of the journalists on the ground would share. It's only because that all of those talks were held entirely behind the closed doors that meant long and uncertain hours outside the venue for all of the journalists on the ground, refreshing our phones, trying to figure out what they were talking about. And every now and then, the media coordinator would come out to brief the media just for planning purposes off the record. And almost every time, without fail, he would say, sorry guys, the situation is rather fluid. They may have a press conference, they may not. They may go with a framework agreement or probably nothing at all, or probably just a doorstep soundbite. So it was basically the nature of the coverage, the nature of the job. And the stakes couldn't have been higher because those talks behind closed doors would decide business decisions and the livelihoods of millions of people in both countries. So naturally, as journalists, you feel the urge and the desire to understand how the talks were going at those moments. And I remember it was the second day of the trade talks in Madrid in September. The American delegation just walked up the street towards the venue, and instantly, on instinct, I just turned myself into a heckler. I shouted, "Secretary Bessent, how did the talks go?"
How did the talks go?
And at that moment, it was a case of if you don't ask, you don't get. And miraculously, they just walked up to the media pool. They had a very short huddle with us and taking a couple of questions, including one from CGTN.
Trump said last night, we'll see. It will depend largely on how the talks go.
And that information you knew would help us understand the pulse of the talks, and you know that you have something that you can work with or share with the viewers. And also you need to make sure that you own the story. You have to make sure that CGTN's white flag was always visible. The nature of the job is chasing clarity amid uncertainty. And Happy New Year, everyone.